Hey,
Okay.
everyone, it's Isaya. Welcome. So this is another one of Isaya's Inspiring Evening podcast. And this is a series that is dear to my heart, that there are less episodes on this series, but I'm really happy that we get to do another one. So the series is called The Broom, The Brush, and the Beyond. And it's conversations with a guest about the intersection of art and spirituality, mostly centering around the iterations of spirituality that are connected to nature, mysticism, galactic origins, ancient traditions, paganism, forgotten rituals, and mythology. So, as you can imagine, this is one of my big things, and I'm really happy to be having guests that agree to come into this particular series, like the amazing Elizabeth Dutschak. But I'm going to call her Lizzy because, you know, and she also goes with Lizzy D, Lizzy or Lizzy D. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I was saying on the pictures. Yes.
Okay. So, hey, welcome, Lizzy. I'm so happy to have you.
Hello.
And so, before we go further along and discuss your particular episode, I want to introduce you a little bit. So, Elizabeth Dutchak, or Lizzy, is a mixed medium artist based in the northeast of the UK, a soul-led, artist whose artworks can include nature-inspired, abstract, fantasy, and quirky things, depending on the inspiration of the day. An artist that has delivered numerous arts and craft sessions, Lizzy D also sells art in person and at selected fairs and business where she is based. She has exhibitions, sorry, in her local community. And she is keen to expand her work through exhibitions and commission work, along with mindfulness arts and craft sessions within her community. She is deeply considering taking her work online, and I'm going to encourage you to do so that people who do not live in your area can benefit. Lizzy D also attends mixed medium art classes within her community, and she's always open to new collaborations. So, the title of the episode that we came up with together is Finding Your Art Crowd in a Noisy World. And in this episode, we're going to explore the messy, magical journey of being a Northeast based mixed media artist trying to find your people in a crowded, creative world. So I'm really excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having
I'm
us.
going to start with telling people where we met because I'm really, you're kind of new to me, and I'm thinking I'm kind of new to you as well. So
Yeah.
we met at the WOW gathering, so Women Only Wellness Gathering in Northallerton last June, where both of us were facilitators and participants, which is one of the perks of this amazing gathering, is that we get to both facilitate things and participate in other people's stuff. So we actually met while you wondering how you were going to carry this very heavy suitcase full of amazing art supplies up the hill so that you could facilitate your workshop. And
Yeah.
I recognized a fellow artist immediately at the trouble of art supplies. So many,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So,
True.
my first question for you would be, who are you? I mean, how did you become an artist? When did you decide you were an artist? Let's put it this way.
Well, that's an interesting. That's an interesting question. I think I've always been I've got dyslexia just to get that out there. So I've always been very visual, and I've always been interested in things around us and nature and trees and um just colours, and always interested in looking at people's tops or shoes, and it was just a normal thing for me because I'm very curious about people and very
Hmm.
curious around us. And I never thought anything of it. I wasn't really that type of art. I couldn't do art. Nobody told us I was good at art at school. I wasn't showed how to do art. We weren't pushed into art. It wasn't a thing we did. It was cookery. What the boys had set things. We had different set things. The girls and
Oh, I
my
know the
sister was
feeling.
quite artistic. Just stop us any time if I do talk a lot. I'm just trying
Oh,
to
no, that's
give
all
you
right. That's for
background.
you to talk. I'm excited.
Thank you. And it was just, I thought I was quite good at shaping hands, which was quite weird, but I don't know what that was about. Anyway, so nobody encouraged us to do art in any shape, way, or form. So then, obviously, fast forward and today, and I just did community stuff. I was always interested in people. I was always interested in stories and people behind the story. And I was always like, oh, I would like go very deep with people, and I'm a very deep person, though I can be very light-hearted. And I loved stories from people. So you could see I was an old soul. I used to, my nana, and they were telling stories. I would be the one kid that would just sit and to listen to the stories. And I found like I'm fascinated by people's stories. So I think that's what comes in to like art and community stuff. So I did a lot of community stuff. I brought me kids. So, and then I decided I've given enough to the community, not that I don't give still, you know, I go to the charity shops, etc. I'm still involved with the community, but you know, income wise, I thought I need to make a living. I brought me kids up, they're doing really well. And I went and did my photography degree. I've always been interested in nature, as I said. And then through COVID times, etc., I struggled through it. I got my degree. I was really so happy achieving it. And we're having dyslexia. I was really happy, and I had a teacher to help us with it. And she said, you know, you're really good, and and even the teacher said you're a storyteller. A lot of people was very technical. I wasn't very technical. I wasn't really interested. I would do street photography, nature-based, environment, about the, you know, too much plastic in the ocean. That's where I was leading with my photography. But I always self-doubt. I wasn't good enough. I thought, oh, they're more techie. But what people in my class said, you're very imaginative, you're good storytelling. So they must have admired that in me, as where I made the technical. And so like I had a year out from that because as a degree is very stressful. I was exhausted, to be fair, and I still wanted to do studying because as my kids grew up, I was always studying as well as community stuff. I've got handstand skills, holistic. I've got quite a lot of skill set of studying. And I prefer to do that. But like, so after the photography degree a few years ago, I needed time out, but I missed studying again. And I decided to do an art class at college. I thought, well, it's, you know, it's an easy thing. It's not going to be too hard. I'll be just doing a bit of drawing, a bit of lines. Did I realize 3 A levels later? I thought, oh, it wasn't easy as I thought. But I had a fab teacher, a lady teacher. She was really supportive. She said you have a natural ability in art, and it was really heartwarming that she said that. She left, but I also wanted to carry on doing it. It was a struggle because a lot of them were younger, and I get on with younger ones, but I think these ones I didn't really have much common in with people because they were just out of school, going into university. And I got on with a little set, but I just felt with the photography, it was a little similar ages to mine, along with the young'uns. And, you know, we're just a different set of people, but I got on with them well enough. And it was about what I wanted for me to achieve. So I passed that from having no art experience at all. I was so chuffed, so pleased. And I decided I'm at a certain age now, should I do another degree? And I thought, I'm not. I'm going to go into the community. I'm going to just do art fairs, except I see how I feel, and then kind of just go from there. And then obviously I've discovered lots of things about from doing it for the past few years, that my art is quite quirky and you have to find your crowd, and it's
So
really
before we go
difficult.
into that, sorry, I'm going to
Yeah,
interrupt because, you know, I don't
yeah,
want you
no
to
problem.
jump
That's
ahead
fine.
too fast.
That's
Because
fine.
I find fascinating how the my question was, when did you
Yeah.
decide you were an artist? And what you
Uh,
explained very, very
yeah.
clearly is that it's a
Yeah.
decision indeed. It's a
Yeah.
decision indeed. It's a process of, yes, I need some education, of course. We
Yeah.
all do.
Mhm.
And then I go and learn. But at some point, it's like, do I want another degree? No, I don't. This is it. This is me
Yeah.
owning it. And I think
That
that
was the
for
point.
people
Yeah.
listening, this needs to be kind of emphasized and repeated and highlighted.
Yeah.
At
No,
some
no,
point,
that's
if
fair.
you want to be an artist, it's a decision process. This
Yeah,
is
I
me
think it
owning
was.
that,
Yeah.
owning
Mm-hmm.
all the knowledge that I've gained, whether through
Yeah.
proper studies like you,
Mm-hmm.
but also through life, because we do
Yeah.
learn a lot through living,
Yeah.
and then making this decision. And I think it's
Yeah.
it's both completely crazy and very,
Yeah.
very brave, you know.
Yeah.
But it's
Definitely.
there's so many people who wait for permission,
Yeah.
who would
Mm-hmm.
love to do or be or creative or,
Yeah.
but they wait for permission from whoever knows who, by the way.
Yeah.
And I really
It's
want
an
to,
mm-hmm.
this is one of the things that really inspired me when we met is
Yeah.
this part of you that was determined that, yes, I'm an
Yeah.
artist. This is it. This is me deciding that I'm an artist.
I think,
And
yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
think
Go
this is
on.
this is something that is kind of what where people say, oh, you could be a lighthouse for people.
Yeah.
This is part
Yeah.
of your message to the world. It's this idea
Yeah.
that, you know, yes, you can study, you can practice, but there's
Yeah.
never going to be a point where
Yeah.
there's going to be a huge voice coming down from the sky saying, "Hey, Lizzy, you now
Yeah.
are an artist." It's
Yeah.
kind of,
I
I
I
have to
totally
make
get
that
it.
decision for myself.
Yeah, I think going back to just why I described how I come to where I was, I think it was me just doing all the studying and I hit a point. I says I need to stop always giving to others and then put
Hmm.
into myself. And then the photography gave us a lot and I still like photography, but I wanted more of a free thing. And I found when I was doing the photography, I like making stuff with my hands, the props, and I feel that's what's missing is it's that touch of it. And I also thought with my teacher giving us the confidence, I thought, I'm getting on at this age. Why not do it? I've done
Hmm.
it. I've sat in a room with people who had skills from school, they could draw, they could paint. I'm coming from having no skills, achieving, got the same grade as everybody else, and probably some didn't pass. And which is, they'll resit it. But for me, it was important to prove it to me. So that I suppose there was a moment of where I thought, I've got the confidence now. I've gained the confidence. I've sat in a class. The teachers give us confidence. And it was just, why not try it? It was like
Yeah.
with all my courses, why not? I've achieved. And at the one part, someone was saying, are you going to carry on? There was strikes going on with the teachers, etc. And I had to really dig deep because I've studied and I've been a single parent. I've dug deep and I thought, I want to do this. I really want to just dig deep and do it. And I thought it would just I wasn't sure where it was going to lead, but I just thought the fact is I like art. It gives us a sense of calmness. It stops me busy mind like the photography did.
Hmm.
And I suppose it was just try it. And I
Hmm.
went from there. So it was the confidence of I can do it. A teacher giving us confidence and why not? And talking it through with friends.
Yeah, and
So there
again,
was nothing.
of
Mhm.
course, whatever journey we go through life,
Yeah.
um, we find help on the way, right?
Uh-huh.
Teachers, support, people who say, "Yeah, I like what you're doing," or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, at the end, is like, and I love how you put it. Why not do it? If this is what I
Yeah.
desire, what the fuck is stopping me? So, and I really love that we can
Yeah.
give ourselves permission to
Yeah.
be whoever we want to be, and.
Just try
Um,
it. I would urge anybody listening, try it. It's your own, why not? Because time goes so fast. It really does. I've given a lot to communities and I still do, but also I need to start giving what I would nourishes my soul and
mhm.
try it. You only can fail and the fear factor can go. If I've achieved so much already, why can't I do it? So
Mm.
it's only my self-doubt and I've done it. And from where I was a few years back, and this is my second wow I've done this year. I did it last year. Um, that I was just confident and I knew what I was expecting when I went there. And I got so everywhere I've gone, I've got good feedback. So that's why I'm, feeling confident to push and try different directions with me art. So
Yeah,
try it.
there's a
Mhm.
part that is really this why not thing that for me is really
Yeah.
powerful.
Hmm.
This is
Yeah.
an attitude where we can walk in life with why not. Why not try
Mm-hmm.
this?
Mm-hmm.
I stumbled upon WoW by accident, by mistake,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I was looking for a completely different WoW group and I ended up in this one. And then I thought, hey, this looks like fun. Let me apply. And there I
Mm-hmm.
was, coming from France, the other end of Europe, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a
Mm-hmm.
why not thing,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Uh,
Yeah,
but
I was quite good. Yeah, I totally agree with you. When I met you, I was like, yeah, that it was no coincidence that you were in that group. It was like you say, it was like, and you've got so much from it, and obviously, I do feel like this has been, and me being on here is obviously, I wouldn't have probably done it, and I've just said, why not? Just do it. Just do what you
mm,
got, and not to. So I think, yeah, it's a coincidence. Your universe sometimes helps you out, brings things to you, and they bring it again. But it's when the
mhm.
time you've got to do the jump, the leap of
And
faith,
then
isn't it?
my next question would be around,
Mm-hmm.
when we move into that space where we decide, okay, I'm an artist, I'm going to do
Mm-hmm.
this thing. How
Mm-hmm.
do we Okay, so we have all the doubt thing because it doesn't disappear, obviously. And how did you or how do you on a daily basis go on about what I would call comparisonitis? So
Oh,
comparing
yeah.
yourself with, anyone and everyone from your nephew who takes courses
Yeah.
at school to Michelangelo, basically, how do
Yeah.
you deal with that?
Yeah, actually, just if I put a point over from the last question, now it's coming to my
Oh, sorry.
head. I was sitting in one of the galleries in Newcastle and was with our class, and I was drawing. I took some drawing stuff, and we sat down and we did an artist that had passed, and somebody in the crowd come across and said, "You're better than the original artist," and I went, "Wow!" And I told me tutor said that, and and the guy who said that, he says, "Oh, you are an artist, aren't you? And you're better than the original artist." And I was taken aback, and I told my teacher that, and she said, "There you go, Lizzy, you are an artist." So that was somebody saying it, and I thought, yeah, I am an artist, aren't I? So that was maybe for the
Yeah.
last
Hmm.
question, but for this question, yeah, it is. It's a funny thing. Yeah, judging and criticizing, then we go into that, don't we? That we're not good enough,
Hmm.
not worthy, sabotage, etc. And
Yeah,
I
and
suppose,
we can very quickly agree, I'm guessing, that this is a
mm-hmm,
trap, right? This is a place where if we get pulled into comparing, judging,
yeah, oh,
criticizing, we end
terrible.
up not doing,
Yeah,
basically. So
that
how
is.
how do you stay away from that?
Well, I talk it through with a very good artist friend who I know, right? And I talk it through to another friend, and I talk it to my sons as well. But they obviously they appreciate it and they say, "Oh, mom, but I'm not you're not an artist." But I just say, what do you think about it? But I think it's mainly talking to a couple of people I know and just like going through me fears or me concerns. And but my friend who's a local artist too says, she says, you're very individual. Don't change yourself. You're very quirky. You're very unique. And she says, there's nobody else does art that I've seen like you. And she said, do not change. She's been doing she's an artist for 20 odd years. And I got in touch with via the Facebook. I was asking for local art to join to see, oh, does anybody do art? Because I didn't know anybody who did art where I lived. And she replied, and I started going to her studio and got, I mean, I do lessons in the community anyway, but I thought I'll go along and see, and it was her giving me confidence also. She said, "Oh, she said, you always want to do your own thing, really, don't you?" I says, "Well, I do really, but I'm listening to you." And she said, "That's what my teacher said," and she had to hone us in. She said, "You've got so infinite possibilities, Lizzy," she said, "but you need to hone in a bit," and that's where I struggle sometimes. And when I went to keep going, this artist friend, she said, don't change. She said, "Wow, your art is so unique. How do you get that?" So it's in my head and it comes out from higher purpose and just comes out. I just don't know. And it's all instincts and I go from it. And then we've got to be a good friend and we'll go to regular sessions at our art studio. So I suppose that's helping us so that I can talk to her, talk to a friend, and
So
just
if I hear you
offload.
correctly, there seems to be
Hmm.
two. So I'm the person who sums everything up. So
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
there seems to be two recipes for keeping the self-confidence
Hmm.
and in the I am an artist
Hmm.
affirmation. One of them is
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
aka talking with people, discussing with people, having interactions with other artists, with not
Yeah.
being, not staying in your own head, basically, but
Yeah.
taking it out of your head and into
Yeah.
conversation with other people, comparing
Yeah.
in a positive way your art
Yeah.
with other people's and not hiding
Yeah.
hiding in the
Mhm.
comparison, but putting it out
Yeah.
there and saying, yeah, this is me, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And so having these conversation, that seems to be
Yeah.
recipe number one, which I love because there's so many of us who work art and kind of hide it because they're afraid of the
Yeah.
comparison. And
Yeah.
and then they end up completely in their heads about it. And I
Yeah.
love the idea that it's about really sharing both your art and the techniques, because I know that you teach also.
Yeah.
And so that ends up with increasing the self-confidence by the
Yeah.
sharing instead of
Yeah.
and the return and the positive comments of other people,
Yeah.
or even the
Yeah.
critiques, just the sharing with
Yeah.
other
The
people.
critic's the
I
thing.
think is
Yeah.
amazing. It's
Hmm.
recipe number one and recipe number two. And I'm going to be adamant because this is one of my big ones. It's do it. Don't think about
Yeah.
doing it, just do it. You know,
Yeah.
do it. Because the more it's in
That's
our
the thing.
heads before it
Hmm.
goes out, and I keep telling that to, I work with many women who are feel that they have something creative that wants to come out of them, but they're
Yeah.
like paralyzed. And I say, listen, it has to
Yeah.
go from your head to your hands.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
it out of
Definitely.
your head. And I can see that you do that. You actually do art. And you
I
use
do.
the
Yeah.
verb do art a lot, which I love.
A
It's
lot
not
of
a
art
thinking
is
thing.
rounded. Yeah.
It's not a thinking thing. It's not the, oh, I have this wonderful idea, but I'm afraid or whatever. So to get out of the fear of being judged, of comparison, of etc., it's about doing it. And my mother is a painter actually, and
Yeah.
she bins something like
Oh.
60% of what she does.
Oh,
Her
bless.
plan
See,
is,
I
her
bet
plan
they're
is,
bet they're great.
her plan is do,
Hmm.
work, get better, not think about
Right.
it, really do
Yeah.
it. And then
Yeah.
when you don't like the result, turn the paper, start on the other side, and again and again and again. So there's something
Yeah.
about not getting attached to the result because this is not
Hmm.
your masterpiece. This is your first attempt, right? So if you're
Yeah.
just beginning, if you're listening to us today and you're just beginning and thinking about, creating something with your hands, get going, do it. Stop thinking about it. Um, and
Yeah.
own the thing of if you can't go for I'm an artist, say I'm becoming an
Yeah.
artist.
I'm becoming or I do art, yeah. I mean, you can't get trapped in the fear. Don't get us wrong. I don't. I do sometimes get trapped in the fear of it, but then I have
Of
to get
course.
out of it because I think this. Stop it. What you're doing, and I question myself. Then I have to speak to a friend, or literally, and you can get like writer's block as art block as well, and it's like I
Hmm.
can get a bit procrastinating, overthinking, but that's when I know that I need to just do random anything, just sort of like nothing art, if you want to call it that, just squiggles, just doodling and stuff like that, because we all have that. It still comes in, but we have to, it's like getting it out or fighting it. And sometimes in a way where life gets in the way. And I know when I haven't done art, I feel a bit low and I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's something missing. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So
Yeah.
it's fighting that and then just doing it. Yeah, it is about just doing it because like when I've started to expand myself doing art, I'm getting different sets of people seeing different things and I'm getting
Yeah.
ideas.
Of
And
course.
it is a battle, it can be a battle, it can be, but life gets in the way. But it's also even doing just a little bit mindful art,
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
really good in your day, can
Yeah,
help
and
as well,
I
getting into
really
that.
love the idea that, this is what, if I want to create, if I feel this urge, this desire,
Yeah,
it's about doing it. It's not about
yeah,
waiting for inspiration.
yeah.
I remember reading Émile Zola's biography. So Émile Zola is a very famous French writer of the 19th century. He wrote something like
Right.
60 books,
Right.
which are all about a huge family. So they take place over 40 years or something. And so they're really very, very famous in France. He's a very good writer. And he said, I woke up every morning and I went and sat on my desk and wrote. That was my
Yeah.
job. I had no other
Yeah.
job. And it's about, and he didn't wait to have inspiration.
Yeah.
He just sat and did it. He
Hmm.
knew that something wanted to come out of him, but
Yeah.
he didn't wait for the specific
Yeah. I
inspiration.
get
I
that.
think this is a
Yeah.
trap. The
It's
I
in there
wait for
anyway, isn't it?
inspiration is a
Hmm.
trap in your head, and then you don't
Yeah.
get to do actually.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
it stays in your head and not in your hands. So,
Yeah. That's
and
the
I
thing is, mhm. I
that
totally
and
agree with that.
then the second recipe or the first recipe that we discussed, which is sharing it with other people, doing
Yeah.
it with other people, sharing it, discussing with other creative people,
Yeah.
and that will surely help, people to
Yeah.
get out of their head and start
Yeah.
creating.
I
Now,
told, yeah, agree with
sorry.
that. No, no, it just reminds us what you've said because I sat on this for a long time, same with me photography. I sat on this for long with me art, and I would not put pictures on the internet for ages and ages and
Mm,
ages. And eventually, I just done it. And you notice I felt great, and it was just something, if not, it was, and it was just building me confidence over time. And you know,
yeah,
the, nothing collapsed, and nobody said that was awful, that was horrible. And if they did do a comment, well, that was not their style, but that's okay. I did it on Facebook, and then I had the Instagram from the photography, and I started loading them up bit by bit. And then I just got used to doing it, and it
mm,
was confidence, just doing them
yeah.
first few
And
steps,
again,
you
doing it
know.
instead of thinking
Hmm.
about doing it
Yeah.
changes
Hmm.
everything.
Definitely.
And if we go into social media, I this would be my recommendation is
Yeah.
you don't care. Basically, there's 7 billion people on the
Yeah.
planet. Not everyone is going to love you. That's all
No.
right. You don't
No.
need everyone to love you. Even if you want to run a business from your art, you don't
Hmm.
need 7 billion customers
Yeah.
to
It's
become a
true.
millionaire if that's your desire. You basically, statistics show that you need 2,000 people to be your clients to become a
Right.
millionaire. 2,000 out of 7 billion.
That'd be
And
nice.
it's all right if there's a bunch of billion people who just hate the guts
Hmm.
of what you do. Even if they
Hmm.
manifest it and say it, I know hard comments, it's difficult, but
Yeah.
basically it doesn't matter. So,
Not their
uh,
style. Yeah.
and if you don't put your stuff out there, whether on the internet or physically discuss it with other people, go to classes, take and give classes,
Yeah.
share with fellow artists, etc., you will never get the compliments. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They may not say, sorry, they may not say nasty things. They may say it's just not my style, but that's
Yeah,
okay. We all
which is
have a
fine.
different style.
Again,
Yeah,
7 billion people.
yeah,
You can't be
yeah, that makes
everyone's cup
sense.
of tea. That's fine.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Agree with that.
Now, my next question would be,
Hmm.
to become, I don't like the word precisely, but, to be an
Hmm.
artist, you have to juggle a
Hmm.
lot of things. Because you mentioned
Yeah.
being a single parent, Uh, but even for those of us who are
Hmm.
not single parents, we have kids, we have parents, sometimes we have a day job, we have house, laundry. How do you juggle all that? Do you do it
Well,
the Emile Zola's way? Every morning, 8 a.m., this is my work. I sit on my desk and
no,
I
no,
work.
no, no.
How do you
Nothing's set
juggle
in
all that?
stone. I think just saying from the single parent, my kids are older, but always still worry about them, always check in with them. They're all the adults now, but as I seen, I started to study, going into study, then the art, and then through that. But yeah, yeah, I think also being a woman as well. It's like I'm on my own now, so I do juggle a lot of things, and like I don't know, it's so difficult because it's like running a house and bills, except what gets in the way, and then I've got commitments doing other things, and it's I don't have a set routine. That's probably I should, but I tell you what I do like when I do go to college and I'm in college in the term time. I like the set routine because it gives us time where I can work out what I do on the other days or
Mm,
other times. So I think when I'm on holiday, off term time, I get a bit of this. Whoa, I've got all this time, and
mm-hmm.
I can go like mad crazy with art, then stop art and do a little bit of date, then I go mad crazy because I'm organizing my space, my art, etc. And then, it's difficult. So I like a routine. That's probably why I like to study a lot. That's why it gives us a sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the community. I get friends from the classes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get the skills. But I always learn from something, whatever I
Mm-hmm.
do, the classes. It can be difficult. And I mean, friend I talked to as well, who was really encouraging with my art, says you do need to get your sleep pattern organized because I'm not very good with my sleep pattern. So I think I manage it on me, say my sleep pattern or what I do in the day, my tiredness levels, etc. I mean, more will probably do that in a way. I don't have the young kids to think about, but I get it. It's difficult fitting in the time scale. I've been a single parent. I know what it's like. You've got to make the dinners if you've got partners or you're on your own, etc. It's difficult. So just because I have time on my own, I still have to do the everyday things. It's
Mm-hmm.
not,
Of course.
so it's difficult. So I probably should set a routine for this, to that, and that, but I'm not like that. I'm like a freestyle person and a freestyle artist. But it is good to have set routines, set things. That's why I like the college.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can see how also, despite you repeatedly saying it's difficult and repeatedly saying
mhm.
that you think you should be doing differently, which I'm not sure I agree, but anyway,
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah,
should
yeah,
verbs. Um,
yeah,
you did
good, yeah,
it all
yeah,
through
I have,
the not being an organized person and
yeah,
not having all the ducks in a row. You still did it, and I think the recipe hidden there or the advice
yeah,
is again the same one: just do it in the
yeah,
gaps of real life. If you can't set a
yeah,
routine for yourself, if you're not ready to do that, which I'm a very organized person, so I have a routine thing, but that's
mhm,
me. Not everyone has to
yeah,
be like that. um
yeah.
I
Disorganized,
think
organized, that's where I am.
the important thing, what your message is there, is how much do you want it? How
You quite a
much
lot.
do you
Mhm,
want to do the art? And if you're serious about that, if that's what you want to do,
mhm,
you will find the time, whether in between
mhm,
breastfeeding
mhm.
or in the morning or in the evening
Yeah,
or 10 minutes a day or
yeah, you
whenever,
can.
the thing is,
I do
again,
agree.
we
I totally,
cannot wait
mhm.
for perfect
No,
circumstances, just like we
there's
cannot
never
wait
no
for
perfect time.
inspiration. If
Yeah,
you want it that much, dear
yeah,
listener who's wanting, and you want to be an artist and you want to create, well, then just go and do it. Um,
yeah.
and
But
yeah,
yeah,
it might be
definitely.
difficult. Yeah. And it would be easier maybe if you were organized, but you're not. This is not you. So the way it
Yeah, I
works for
think that,
you,
yeah,
and I think it's
yeah,
interesting that we would be having this conversation because we're so different. And
yeah,
so my way of thinking might not be for everyone, neither does
yeah,
yours, but we can just mirror other
yeah,
ways of doing things for
yeah,
artists. But the main thing is you did it. So if you could
yeah.
do it in the midst of all that,
I think discipline,
supposed
determination.
disorganization and supposed undisciplined life,
Yeah.
anyone can.
Well, I wouldn't say undisciplined. I'd say, I know where you're coming from. I'm disorganized, organized because I
Now,
have pockets of places organized and time
Now,
frames of organized, like with the
sorry, I
college.
shouldn't have said that, but
Yeah,
I also wanted to, sorry, circle back to
it's
the
fine.
idea that you have the college thing as
Yeah,
a pillar, uh,
yeah,
kind of foundational thing. And I think
that's it.
that's also a very clever way to
Yeah,
um, anchor your
yeah.
days or your weeks,
Organize your
etc.
time.
Because it's like, it's like big blank piece of paper. If it's completely
Yeah.
empty, if your days are completely empty, it's like, ooh, where do I start? And then paralysis can, if you have
Yeah,
some things in your day, whether they are artistic or not, by the way, but when
yeah,
you have some kind of road signs or places where,
yeah,
sorry, a sort of a timeline, that helps,
yeah,
I think. It's one of the reasons
yeah,
why most of the when I'm stuck with my art, what I do is I start working on paper that is not white, that is already,
all right.
it already has something, so that
All
I
right.
don't get stuck into the, oh, there's so much choice, you
Yeah.
know? So
Like the
I
colour
choose
piece or
either I
something.
work in books or in you know
Oh,
in
books, right, got it.
pieces of art that are forgotten, long forgotten, or you know, kind of
Oh,
old
I've got a lot of
papers,
them.
or
Yeah.
and I think that
Yeah,
this
that
this
makes sense.
again, the message is, how much do you
Yeah.
want it? And you know,
Yeah.
um,
I think now seeing that, actually I am organised, and I think, to be fair, and I know when I'm not at college, I do have set things that I do, how I do things in the morning, nighttime, etc., washing, etc. So I probably am a little bit more organised, and I think by seeing a blank, meaning some days I have things to do, like meet friends, sometimes I don't,
mhm,
sometimes I go into classes I do, like in the community now, when it's like an art class, which isn't a college class, if that makes sense. And I have other commitments, maybe say family members. So I do have the commitment still there, but I think I was probably referencing more. I'm more organized when I'm doing college, in the college,
mhm,
but I do have some strands, the blocks of organization. So, but I know what you mean. But I do have set times when I have blank
yeah,
spaces as
mhm,
well. So that's probably what you meant and what I probably should have said. But I meant, as a blank canvas. But
yeah,
I
no, I
think
hear
it is
you. Mhm,
interesting. I am organized to a level, and I can be super organized as well because I did my degree as well. But
mhm,
also, I'm probably less organized in my nature, if that makes sense, with my
yeah.
dyslexia.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Um,
I hear you. But again,
but yeah,
the important, for me, the important part is that you wanted it that much that you got
yeah,
through difficulties,
yeah,
delays, problems in organizations or whatever,
yeah,
because that you
mhm,
wanted it and you were
yeah,
serious about it. And I think
yeah,
that that's kind of the thing that, you know, can give other people
yeah,
courage to go through
yeah,
that journey.
yeah,
Now, my last question, and it's a big one,
yeah.
so it might develop, is how do we find customers? You know,
Mm.
where are the quirky people? Have you found them? How do you proceed into sharing your art? What is
Oh,
your particular
well,
way on that?
I think, like as I said before, just with the back, when I give you a bit of a backdrop, I started just off at the fairs. I did some fairs. I did a local one. I thought, here I am. My art's going to sell. It's all going to sell out. Great. Didn't. But what I got from that was lots of good feedback, which made us
Mm,
confident. Quirky art, nice. It was all the words are coming up. That's beautiful. That's original. That's different. I love that. But they didn't buy. And I thought,
mm,
oh, well, why aren't they buying? So then the questions come in. Then obviously, as I did more art, I got different questions, and different. I was trying to figure it out and figure my style out. And I probably still am to a level because I do a collective, but I'm probably veering to more mixed medium now. I like a mixed medium, the freedom it gives you. Still nature based, still fantasy. But I suppose it was just getting confidence from myself, picking up networking. People were saying it was really good and giving us ideas like using easels for the art and kind of just have a banner. Got a banner over time, business cards. I had none of that. I just took me work table. I had no tablecloth, but I'd built my skills up from people telling us how
mhm.
they do theirs and watching and learning and think, oh, that's useful. And, that's the good thing I could do. Not copying, but just, like saying they have a banner, I'll get a banner,
Yeah,
but still sticking with my style. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, just
And the
learning. But
mhm, the
oh, go
price
on.
points, how do you define that?
Oh, that's another thing. Well, still learning and still thinking, there's a price point now I won't go below. So in
Oh,
my head,
I love
I've set
that.
it where I know I probably might not make me as what you say, the daily rate is if you were self-employed, whatever. But I just have a price point now I won't go below because I
Mm,
value self and I value my art. And my art is not that expensive. If not that I'm not even higher, but I'm happy with some of my price points. Sometimes if I know they genuinely like the art, I might do a little bit of a discount for them. But if they're just looking for the bit of a freebie and
mhm,
downgrade me, or I kind of get that from a customer. but I value those that come to me, and the artists themselves say, oh, and I'm thinking, oh, she's an artist. And I should then I probably give a discount, and I don't need to. So maybe I should just say that's my price point. But then I do have my self-doubt sometimes, but then I try and stick to it. If I know the value it, I do give them a discount. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So we're saying here that the tip number one for finding your customers, if you want to be selling your art, is to actually, drum roll, show your freaking art. Don't hide
Yeah,
it. So go to the
yeah,
fairs, go to the
yeah,
classes where you can share your art with other students and maybe
yeah,
collaborate in projects. Go to the
yeah,
internet and just
yeah.
literally stop
Do it.
hiding because there's so many
Stop
people who
hiding. That's the
hide.
thing. Yeah.
Uh,
In
so that's
stages, I'm doing it slowly.
yeah, of course. But it seems that and the second the conversation about the price point, what really strikes me very much with you is that you seem to have found a place where you stopped second guessing yourself. You do not seem to me like so many other artists or creative people that I know who constantly second guess everything. And that is a paralysis. Oh, I don't know what price, so I can't sell because I don't know what price, or oh, I don't know which fair I should go and what I should do. And it's kind of again taking the things out of your head and into your hands and
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
So decide for a price. If you sell, you sell. If you don't,
yeah.
change the price. If people come and
It's
say, hey,
hard.
this is too cheap, maybe you can make it more expensive. If people come
Yeah,
and say, hey, this is way too expensive, think about it. Is that,
yeah,
do you agree with them? Sometimes we don't agree, and it's okay to
yeah.
not agree. And I've been
I mean,
told, oh, you're too cheap. And I say, yeah, sometimes, yeah, but that's my
yeah, I have
choice.
that myself.
And I've
Yeah,
also been
yeah.
told you're too expensive. And I went,
I've had that
yeah,
as well.
maybe, but that's also my
I've had all
choice.
the betweens.
Uh,
I think it's putting a value on. I do still do a little bit of that before I start, but then check in with myself and I check in with my core, and I think, no, the
mm,
price point you'll not go below. I have it in my head. So I have a price range. I may fluctuate slightly, but I do put it out there. But then if I do see a person who really wants it and they may not want it, I know they're going to value that art. I would not drop it slightly for them.
mhm,
But also the ones I've gone and says, oh, they've said I can do that art myself. And I thought, well, can they? Will they? Crack on. And that's an insult to me. But I also think, right, that's okay. That's how they value me art, but it doesn't mean I value me art. I value it more here. So I
yeah,
do think I have a slight bit of that, but I'm getting better at it. And I do
mhm,
try and the price point. So
yeah.
it can be a
But I think
struggle even
that
for me.
I really love this
Hmm.
conversation because it's so many artists will just come and
Hmm.
pretend that they've got everything, all their stuff together, and that they're, everything is
I
perfect,
haven't.
rolling, despite them not sometimes not selling at all or not having, you
Yeah,
know, found anything. And I really love that we can have a conversation about, hey, I'm still working on this stuff.
yeah, hmm,
But at the same time,
definitely.
I'm so much admiration for your perseverance and your
Yeah,
trust into, I'm going to know what's right for me. I know I'm going to know
yeah,
what price is right for me. I'm going to know what fair, which place I should share my
yeah,
art, what is good
yeah,
for me. Also considering that you are dyslexic, which means every time you write, it's kind of it's not easy, I'm guessing.
yeah.
So every
I
time you have
think
to
it's more the
write,
disorganized side of it, the overthinking and the worry part of it. That's that. I mean, I can write, but it's more. I think it's just accepting myself. Will he accept me? Will I
yeah,
accept
again.
myself? And it's the because over analyze things, but then when I get out of it and I'm determined, I mean, every day, and even when before I do it, but the fact is I do it. I just do
Hmm.
it.
Yeah,
Because if I don't do it, who else will do it for us? Nobody. And I've
yeah.
lost a fair chance. So I do.
Hmm.
The fact is, you dig deep again. I'm digging deep. I've been a single parent all my life, and I've managed to grow two great humans. And I'm so pleased they're doing so well. And I
Mm,
dig deep because if I don't dig deep for me, who's my back? My
mm,
friends have me back, but I've got to have my own back first.
yeah.
So I do it. So you
Thank
can
you,
do.
thank
You
you,
can
thank you.
do.
Preach, I love you. Really, this is cool. This is really, really cool. That there's a lot there that can
Yeah,
benefit listeners about
yeah,
this idea that, we have to be our own best friend,
yeah,
mostly when it touches artistic or creative endeavors,
yeah,
because the world is not going to wait for you or applaud
yeah,
you, or mostly if you're hiding, because they don't know. So get out of your
yeah,
shell and just do it.
definitely.
Do it. Do the art and then do the sharing of the art. And
Yeah,
if you feel that you need more education, well, there's so
yeah,
many amazing possibilities. I mean, the
hmm,
internet is full of art classes.
yeah,
So many of them are
definitely.
free, even.
Lots of
Then
great,
you
yeah,
have local colleges, communities, schools.
yeah,
Just
all
do
around.
it. You know, um,
Hmm.
and basically stop faffing around, thinking about
Yeah.
how much you would love to do it, and just go and do it.
The
And
passion, the preaching is the
if
passion.
somebody like me and somebody like you can just
Yeah,
do it, well, anyone
yeah.
can basically.
It's the
And it's
passion. I feel that's
mostly
why I preach
about,
it.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's mostly
Hmm.
about getting out of your head and into your hands. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
one of my artistic mentors, the amazing Jenny Belly, says,
Yeah.
"Dirty fingers, happy minds."
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely.
I love that.
Well, that's
It's
our
about,
loving hand, so we can happy. You know that is yourself.
yeah, my hands
Yeah.
are a little dark at the moment because I'm working on a shadow project. So I'm working with
Oh,
black paint a lot. So it's
interesting.
like I
Interesting.
wash my hands. Yeah, the autumn is
My
coming
clothes
and
are
this.
ruined. All my clothes will get ruined.
Yeah, I have one good t-shirt and I put it for recording podcasts,
Yeah,
and all the
I
rest
don't have
is
many good
ruined.
clothes. They're painting. I have to stop putting them on. Yeah. Had
Well,
to buy new
thank
clothes.
you.
I ruined them. Thank you. Great.
Thank you very much for coming. It was amazing. It's
Thank
already
you.
been 45 minutes, so it
Yeah,
seems that
great.
we
Thanks for having us.
and yeah, I want to remind anyone who's listening that you will find Liz's Instagram below the podcast, or the video, wherever you're listening to that. And please do reach out to her if you feel that you want to learn more about her art. Sorry, her heart. Also, you can learn more about her heart,
Yeah.
her art. If you want to take classes, if you want her to come into your event and run workshops. She's amazing, and I can't wait to meet her again and hug her again, as far as I'm
Oh, bless
concerned.
you.
Hopefully next year.
Yeah,
And
hopefully.
yeah,
Might come to pass.
thank you very much for coming and talking with me. And again, this positive message of just do it, although it does sound a little bit like a Nike
Yeah.
advertisement slogan.
Just
We're
do
going
it.
to
I
own
might put it on
it.
the thingy, the post. Just do
We're
it.
going to
I might do
own
that
it
myself.
for artists. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much,
Thank
Lizzy.
you.
I'll see
Thank
you around.
you.
Bye for now.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.